Good afternoon, Central Ohio, and thanks for joining us here for another edition of our 10 Weather Impact Show. I'm meteorologist Aaron White, and it's a much quieter day here across the areas. We've been seeing some sunshine and a little bit chilly temperatures down into the 40s, but you know what? It's nice to have some quiet weather after the showers and thunderstorms that rolled through here yesterday. Here's a live look outside showing partly cloudy skies and temperatures, again, chilly. 43 degrees is our current temp. Winds are out of the west, northwest at 18 miles per hour. So a bit breezy, pretty windy here today. Now I will say the wind that we have here today is nothing compared to what we have for tomorrow. And we'll talk about that here in just a moment because we have wind advisories and high wind warnings that have been issued. But for the rest of today, temperatures will get up into the mid 40s here this afternoon. We're calling for a high right around 46 degrees. Going to keep partly cloudy skies around, sunny to partly cloudy skies here for the rest of today. So really not too bad, just chilly with that wind here as the wind chill factor is dipping down into the 30s. But we have a 10 weather impact alert here for tomorrow all day because we are talking about very high winds coming in here and really going to impact most of the state of Ohio. And we're talking about winds gusting over 50 miles per hour, but there will be gusts over 60 for some locations here as we go through your Friday. So this is a look at the current map. We have wind advisories where you see the brown coloring. That includes areas around Circleville, Chillicothe, and Lancaster, but there is a high wind warning that is now in effect. That includes the Columbus Metro. Delaware, Marion, Bucyrus, areas further north are going to see some of the highest winds, and we are talking about winds gusting 50 to 60, 65 miles per hour, not out of the question. So when we talk about those high of winds, these are similar to what we talk about when we have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect, damaging wind gusts. And this is not with thunderstorm activity. This is just wind itself that can still cause damage. So just be aware of that. Make sure to secure anything that is outside. If you have anything that's on the patio that could easily blow around, bring it inside, put it in the garage, and at least until we are seeing some calmer conditions, which we will have here by Saturday. But tomorrow, that's the day when we were talking about these high winds coming through. And looking at the projected wind gusts here, going through tonight, winds will actually calm down, but then they will really pick up here by tomorrow morning. Here we are, 7 a.m. on your Friday. We are looking at winds gusting 20 to 30, already getting some gusts west of I-71 over 40 miles per hour. As we continue through the morning, notice the winds gusting really overspreading all of central and southern Ohio. And now we're talking about winds gusting 45, 55, maybe up to 60 miles per hour in some locations. And this is just at one time. There will be some times where, gusts will kind of go back and forth. So we may be gusting at 40 miles per hour, and then the next hour, gusts are up to 60 miles per hour. So that's what we're going to have here as we go through tomorrow morning through the midday hours and even by the afternoon. Here we are, 4 p.m. We're still talking about winds gusting 45, 55, up to 60 miles per hour here before the winds will start to gradually subside as we head late tomorrow evening and going into tomorrow night. So Friday, very windy. Why is it going to be so windy? Well, main reason for that is the two systems that we're watching. One is a high pressure system, one is a low pressure system. And the closer these two systems are together, the stronger the winds. The pressure gradient between those two systems really intensifies, and we start to have basically all that wind getting funneled through right in here. Takes it right over Ohio. So a strong low pressure system over the Great Lakes, that's going to lead to a potential for a rain snow mix in northern Ohio, likely some snow up in parts of Michigan and then more snow on the back side of that. But this high pressure system keeping the skies clear across the mid-Atlantic states up into the northeast. So between it, yeah, we are just talking about a very windy day coming our way. So our forecast, though, for today, keeping the sunshine around, sunny to partly cloudy skies, 46 the high temperature, winds northwest 10 to 15, 20 miles per hour here for today. A few gusts a little bit higher than that. And then as we go into tonight, the winds will be shifting to the south and west, and they will start to drop a bit here through the overnight hours. We're calling for mostly cloudy skies, 35 for a low temperature here during the overnight hours. And then looking ahead to our 7-day forecast, we are tracking some changes, of course, here tomorrow as we have that 10 weather impact alert here for your Friday. Also throwing in a 20% chance that we could see maybe a light rain shower, maybe a snow shower in some areas, especially north of I-70, closer to that area of low pressure. Chances are really not that high. The biggest concern for tomorrow, of course, is going to be just the wind itself. Gusts to 50 to 60 miles per hour, highly likely here across central southern Ohio. And the further north you go, really north of I-70, that's where we're talking about potential for those gusts to be closer to 60 miles per hour at times here as we go through the day. So again, just be ready for that. Yeah, secure any loose items outside that are on the patio, out in the yard, putting them in the garage, bringing them inside, and we'll see some quieter conditions here by the start of the weekend. And then as we go into the weekend, we'll see sunshine, a little bit cooler here for Saturday, 49 for a high temperature. We do bounce up to 72 degrees here for your Sunday, so we'll get a surge of some warmer air as another system takes place, and that's going to take shape over the Midwest into the upper Midwest, over parts of Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin. They could be talking about a significant winter storm, bring in 6 to 12 inches of snowfall Sunday into Monday for those areas. Meanwhile, we are on the warmer side of the storm, at least for a time. We'll get those highs up into the low 70s. However, as we go into Sunday night and Monday morning, our temperatures will stay warm overnight, getting down to about 50 degrees by the morning hours. We'll see some rain coming through and perhaps even some thunderstorms coming through, depending on how things play out here as we go into your Sunday night. But that 50 degrees, that is going to be in the morning, because by the afternoon, our temperatures will be dropping down to near freezing, and we'll be down to freezing for Tuesday. Look at that morning low here on St. Patrick's Day, 17 degrees to kick off our Tuesday morning, 32 for a high, and then we are getting back up to near 40 here looking ahead to Wednesday. So a lot going on, and we'll be tracking it here on 10 TV, especially as we talk about those strong winds coming in here for your Friday. So thankfully the weather is much quieter today here compared to the showers and storms that we had yesterday, but around the Midwest, many are still picking up the damage. Wednesday's storms not only created inconveniences for folks at home, but the severe weather also made it harder for firefighters to put out a fire in Thorne Township. First responders got there just before noon and tell us around 25 firefighters from multiple departments came out to help.
We did have a report of a lightning strike at another location, so we had other crews responding to both locations. So just trying to pull resources from farther away to come assist can be a challenge for sure.
And 2 people are actually hospitalized. We also know that 2 dogs died in the fire. Unfortunately, right now the cause of the fire is still under investigation. And in other parts of the Midwest, sprawling tornado, just severe thunderstorms really raging through the Midwest over the last couple of days, and tornado ripped through, killing at least 2 people, packing heavy rain and fierce winds over 70 miles per hour. In Illinois, the powerful storms tore apart entire neighborhoods and uprooted trees and utility poles, leaving thousands without power. Grapefruit-sized hail pummeled the area. Streets are lined with with mountains of shredded debris, and roofs are packed with top of twisted metal twisted around trees, and cars were buried, and many walls were actually collapsed.
I was looking out the front window and I seen a dumpster fly by. That's when I went for cover. I went to the bedroom, the roof lifted off, the ceiling come down, knocked me down, and I climbed into the closet. And that's where I come out, and debris was everywhere. I mean, the place was destroyed.
And just really unfortunate to see all that damage there. You can see some of that drone video there over Kankakee, Illinois. Earlier today, first responders are still doing search and rescue efforts as damage assessments and cleanup continues. And moving on from the severe weather, spring break is almost here, and that means many will be traveling to the south and, of course, to the beaches. But depending on where you go, things might get a bit stinky. Bree Buckley reports on why.
This family from Connecticut comes down on vacation around this time every year. They say they're familiar with the seaweed lining the shore.
A little more seaweed than we're used to seeing. It's not too bothersome.
But experts say more is on the way.
The worst is yet to come.
Dr. Xuan Min Hu is a professor of oceanography at the University of South Florida. According to the school's latest 2026 sargassum outlook, most regions in the Atlantic Ocean are seeing record high sargassum for the month of February, more than 10 million metric tons total.
A lot of variable factors like ocean currents and winds that can play a big role in determining whether or not Florida will receive a record amount or not. But those are difficult to predict.
He says the bloom is hitting earlier this year, piling on top of what was left over from last year, combined with a warm ocean that helps it grow. Now what's floating in the water is a natural plant and safe, but when it washes up on shore and begins to decay, that's when it attracts insects and bacteria.
Because once they had so much, and I had very bad itch, so I avoided.
Cleanup costs millions, with mitigation plans in place to either mix or rake the sargassum along our coast and keep the beach clean and tourists happy.
The sun's out, it's not raining, we're out here to have a good time.
Dr. Hu tells me in the next couple weeks we could see more sargassum on shore in the Florida Keys. He says it'll take a bit longer for Broward and Miami-Dade beaches into April or May. On Dania Beach, Bree Buckley, CBS News, Miami.
And now to some stories about our environment. Record heat is getting set to impact much of the western United States. That heat wave comes courtesy of an area of high pressure known as a heat dome. It will actually park over the area and stay put for about 2 weeks, bringing record high temperatures. Phoenix could actually hit 100 degrees earlier than ever before, and temperatures in Southern California could be up to 30 degrees higher than usual. That warmth is also expected to melt the snowpack in places like Colorado and Utah, and that could actually lead to a worse than usual wildfire season. At the same time, the warm weather much of the eastern seaboard has been experiencing is now returning to some cooler temperatures. And speaking of the changes to the weather, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration is warning that El Nino may return later this year. In a forecast released Thursday, NOAA issued an El Nino watch, saying conditions are favorable for the climate pattern to develop within the next 6 months. And forecasters expect it to emerge sometime between June and August and last through at least the end of the year. El Nino occurs when unusually warm ocean waters spread across the tropical Pacific, shifting winds and weather patterns around the globe. It could have a significant impact on winter weather and also reduce the number of Atlantic hurricanes this season. It could also make 2026 or 2027 the warmest year on record. And we are going to want to wrap things up with this environment block. Talk about a story out of California where classic cars are cruising around Mare Island, but there's something new under the hood. Max Darrow got to go for a test drive and shows us how even those buying one of these updated cars may save you on gas and help the environment, but they're not exactly friendly to your wallet.
Step by step in the belly of this old naval shipyard on Mare Island. A team of innovators at Kindred Motorworks are bringing iconic cars of the past into the future.
So we look for Broncos that are not well loved.
And it all started with Rob Howard and his love for restoring classic cars.
There we go, drive.
Like a Ford Bronco.
This is a Kindred electric Bronco. This one is a 1971, fully restored. It really is a super modern driving experience. I'm a car guy, always have been. I find that I love the restoration process, but when I was done, I was disappointed at the end.
So Howard and his team wanted to reimagine the vintage car experience by reworking them into EVs.
Because we've rebuilt the car from scratch, like we recycled that car from original materials, basically.
They make 3 electric models, the Bronco, a VW bus, and a Chevy 3100. They also do a gas version of the Bronco. Their cheapest vehicle, about $170,000.
This is a luxury good, frankly, that at the price points that are required for us to do all the work we have to do. So this will never be a mass market kind of company. It's about 1,500 hours of labor for each of these cars.
Greg Clark says it is fitting that this space is being used to innovate once again.
There is something very important about us being here, renovating and preserving this facility as we recreate and preserve iconic vehicles.
He says a historic submarine was built at this very facility on Mare Island decades ago.
The submarine, particularly innovative submarine, was called Greyback, which is actually the name of our EV platform.
As time moves on, Howard says it's getting tougher and more complex to restore classic vehicles. He's hopeful this will help change that reality.
We want to introduce as many cars as we can, as many models as we can, get as many of these amazing cars back out onto the road.
And rolling again, rather than getting left in the dust.
All right, and finally today, let's check out some new video here into us at 10 TV. This one is coming in from the USGS. They actually have upgraded the Kilauea alert to a level, the alert level to a volcano warning due to fallout from the latest high fountaining at the crater there. You can see, at least in the video there, just looking at the plumes of lava and ash getting up to 1,000 feet. The National Weather Service also issued an ashfall warning Tuesday for Hawaii Volcanoes National Park and communities to the north and east, including the volcano, Glenwood, and Mountain View. Episode 43 began Tuesday at 9:17 in the morning Hawaii Standard Time with more than 1/4 inch of accumulated tephra, including ash and other volcanic particles reported within the first 90 minutes. So a pretty dramatic sight there. Of course, we've seen this before with the Kilauea volcano erupting many times. This is one of the world's most active volcanoes, but definitely making for a wild sight there, especially leading to some issues with the ash and tephra falling there in and around the Kilauea volcano. And one more video. This is visitors are actually flocking to Death Valley National Park in California and Nevada to take in a rare phenomenon known as a super bloom. This is actually thousands of long dormant flowers have actually popped up through the desert soil, transforming the barren landscape in carpets of gold, and the bloom is ready to actually the result of steady rain in the fall and winter, and as experts don't expect the blooms to last that long. But you know what? It still makes for a beautiful sight there, especially, talk about Death Valley, California. That area, sees actually temperatures getting up to 115, 120 degrees in the summertime. So at least nice to see some spring flowers before, the drier season actually begins to set in here as we look ahead to the latter part of the spring, and especially as we head into summer months, because of course it will get dry out there and temperatures will be heating up quite a bit. And our temperatures, well, not heating up so much. We're going to be in the 40s again for the rest of this afternoon, but still keeping a tab on the wind here for tomorrow. You can tune into the news here at 4 o'clock. I'll be talking about the winds and why exactly it is so windy here across central Ohio. But until then, you can catch more news and weather online at 10tv.com.